Well, it's Monday, so let's talk about Mondays, I guess. And cheers. Welcome back, everybody, to me doing the weekly navel gazing on time. What a surprise, isn't it? So, as always, we'll talk about all the books I read last week, all the books I didn't read last week, all the books I plan to read this week, all the videos I made, all the videos I didn't make, all the videos I plan to make this week, and so forth. And then it all descends into rambling, as always. So, let's get started. I did read some books. Lots of them, in fact. I did, in fact, finish all my Dan Brown readings, which is good because all of these books are shit. They're really bad. They suck a lot. And I'm glad I finished, the what's it called? Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, and The Lost Symbol. All of them suck immensely, and I'm glad it's over. So after that, I decided to do my reread of Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco because, I wanted to read a good book for once, and that's what I started, and I'm still doing that. I also read and finished a nonfiction book or academic text by one Douglas Morell, which is called Umberto Eco, The Da Vinci Code and the Intellectual in the Age of Popular Culture, which was okay, but not perfect. But, it's something for, the larger video project. So I guess good thing I did that. Yeah, that's the things that I did there. Do I plan to read now? Well, I plan to finish Foucault's Pendulum, and there's obviously a more academic stuff around the whole concept of conspiracy fiction, Umberto Eco, Dan Brown, Robert Shea, Robin Wilson, that kind of stuff, and I'll continue doing that. And I'll probably also read something fun and entertaining, but I don't know what yet. I might go with Exordia by Seth Dickinson, which I have lying around somewhere. Maybe that. We'll see what I feel like when I get to it, I guess. So these are my reading plans right now. What about videos, you ask? Well, what about videos? An answer. I did make one. I finally made the video for Use of Weapons. By Ian M. Banks, which is the third culture novel, and that one went out last week. Some people maybe even watched it. It's, the culture is not the most popular of things, I feel, but it worked. So there we are. And I'm almost caught up with the culture read along stuff. The next one in this is The State of the Art, which I almost did yesterday, and then I just was too tired and so forth. So I didn't do that yet. So the state of the art video will come this week. We also had our live stream, the monthly live stream with Kat, the fairy librarian, as a guest. I had a lot of fun. I hope those of you who were live in the live chat also had fun. I hope those of you who have watched it since also had fun. I had a lot of fun talking to you. I also had a very, very interesting conversation with Kat. And if you have not yet subscribed to Kat's channel, why not do so? It's worth it. So that's what I did last week. What will happen with videos this week? Well, as I already said, the state of the art. Also, as I hinted, and there is a post on the community tab, if you haven't checked it out yet, I do have, well, it's my birthday on Saturday, the 29th. And, in the grand old tradition of all hobbits, which I am very much not, I want to give you something back to you. So I asked for suggestions, what kind of video you really want from me, and I'll make that on Saturday for everyone to watch. It is, well, you'll see what it is. You know, I'm open as long as it's something I can do on relatively short notice, which is, no second Arthurian video until that, trust me. So that's something that will happen this week. If there is more, I don't know, maybe I'll come up with something in else. We will see. But that's that. So these are my plans. I have to sort of do this on short notice because I am almost on my way to a concert by the wonderful Bruce Dickinson, a singer of Iron Maiden, whom I've never seen on with his solo band. So I'm very excited to do that, and I gotta catch a train in, I don't know, half an hour or so. So there's that. Anyway. Let's talk about some additional thoughts and stuff, and then we'll move off into the great white yonder. So, there's two or three things. Like on the one hand, yes, it looks like I will be able to finally record with a good camera again very soon, because once again, like the whole birthday thing. I might have some people that may be willing to help me with financing a new camera, which is awesome. I'm very, very happy about that. I'm very excited because then I can actually get to the whole big video, which will be, as we already talked about, first of all, the one about conspiracy fiction. I have a very good feeling about it. It's very exciting in a lot of ways. One good thing about the whole Dan Brown reading is that, yes, those books are absolute trash, but um, they do, luckily, and I've read those three, they do sort of very well gel with the other books that I want to talk about, those being the Illuminatus trilogy, the Foucault's Pendulum, and of course, nonfiction stuff like Morning of the Magicians, and of course, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. And it all falls into a very pleasant symmetry. So I think on that part, at least it works. And yes, those three novels by Dan Brown were full of details I can and will mine for, a video on like why all this stuff is trash. So that should be fun, right? So that's certainly something. And then I started thinking about it in a lot of ways, and that's sort of like where you come in if you feel like, commenting and so forth. And that is these books and videos. See, we have a bit of a problem there in that the way I imagine this video to be is way more like a video essay, and I will have to sort of reference these books. But those won't be reviews in any shape or form, not even like full discussions as I usually do them. Like if you think back about like the Arthurian video last year, after going through the history, I dedicated like basically one video to each of the novels, contemporary novels that I talked about before wrapping it all up. That worked back then because the whole point of the video was more to show how Arthurian stories can be sort of adapted to each time and purpose that they are needed for. So having them sort of all bunched together and then have a wrap up kind of work within the video. But what I'm planning with this new one, that won't work. So just going through this in like publication order and go like, hey, here's all the stuff you need to know about Illuminatus, and then do the same thing for Foucault's Pendulum, and then do the same thing for the Dan Brown novels, won't work for like how I envisage the video to be. Now, the important question is, should I just, I mean, obviously those will be spoilers, and I assume no one cares about spoilers about the Illuminatus trilogy, if it is even possible to spoil that one. Same, I feel for like Foucault's Pendulum, which is at this point 30 years old, 40 years old almost, something like that, 35 years old. So yeah, look. So and with Dan Brown, frankly, I just don't care. Also, I feel like everyone at this point knows sort of like the thing about the Da Vinci Code and possibly even Angels and Demons and maybe the Last Symbol. So I don't feel it's a problem to talk about these books with spoilers, but the question is, and especially in particular with Foucault's Pendulum, I think that one very much merits a whole video on its own, and what it does and how it does things as a individual video, just like a full-on book discussion of Foucault's Pendulum. Now the question is anyone even interested in that? So I'm sort of figuring out whether I should do these individual book discussion videos, put them out before we're doing the full on here is why this stuff is the way it is, or should I just not do that? Because at the end of the day, I don't know, there will be 10 people watching a video on Foucault's Pendulum, and the question is, are there even 10 people? You know what I mean? So I was just wondering what you think about that. Like, I know some of you think that it's easier if I make these long videos to just make shorter videos and make a short video series. I don't want to do that. Because I feel like, especially with like the larger argument that I want to make about these conspiracy fictions, it has to be a coherent argument. And if I make individual videos, there's a big chance y'all will drop off after the first one and just not see it because it's the algorithm that fucks with it, and you know what I mean. So that will be one monolithic video, and probably, hopefully, not beyond like, I don't know, an hour and 90 minutes, something like that. We will see. But so that's out of the question. On the other hand, are you interested in me just talking about like why I think the Illuminatus trilogy is absolutely amazing and a lot of fun and does really cool things? Is that something you'd be even interested in? Um, don't ask me to make individual videos about these Dan Brown novels. There's a big problem with that, in that, yes, it's easy to bash them because, yeah, they're shit. But the other problem is, if and see, here's the thing, they are full of like wrong information, problematic information in all kinds of ways, and they basically deserve like a full debunking. On the other hand, there's already, all kinds of stuff out there debunking Dan Brown novels, so I don't have to do that, right? If you want to find out about what's wrong with the Dan Brown books, I'm sure YouTube has you covered already. So it would just be me, yelling on about like how he's getting all this shit wrong. And yeah, I don't know if that works. On the other hand, those are like heavily sort of like, I would have to like put quotes in there. I would have to, make notes and probably read more of a script kind of thing to make sure that, I get the words correct and stuff like that. And that's something I can't really do because, I can't read scripts. So no Dan Brown novel, individual Dan Brown videos, because yeah, I don't think I have anything valid to say without, making a video that is probably like twice the length of the full audiobook, because every misinformation in those stupid books needs like a vast amount of explanation on like why it's wrong and what's the correct answer and so forth. And that is which is part of the problem of all these conspiracy bullshit things, right? It's like it's much easier to just like drop random misinformation than to actually correct it and fact check it. And so I don't want to do that, and I don't want to just like yell at like how stupid Dan Brown is, because on the one hand, people really enjoy these books, and I'm not, I don't want to be the elitist that tells everyone people don't enjoy these books because they're poorly written, which, they are very simplistically written. But, I don't want to do that, because I think the problems are very much in the kind of information that is transported through those books. And so no Dan Brown videos, but possibly something about Foucault's pendulum and possibly something about Illuminatus, if you guys think that's worth doing. So that's something. On the other hand, I've been, obviously reading some literary theory again, because I think that's helpful from time to time. Maybe at some point obviously I want to go back and do the whole, what's it called? The Sunday school thing I started last year and then kind of got sidetracked after Tigana. I definitely want to go back to that and continue with A Song for Arbonne, but that's something for like later in the summer, because I need to read A Song for Arbonne first, and possibly also reread a couple of books on the Albigensian Crusade. So who knows? So that's sort of like where I am right now. I'm, trying stuff. I'm hoping that the larger video will be really cool, and even though it will go even further from, just talking about books into almost like video essay territory, I hope you will be interested in that. And yeah, I don't know, let me know about these things. If you still have like a video that you really want me to make, go to that community post and either make suggestions or vote by liking the ones that you think are really good, and then I'll pick the one that has like the most likes or the second most likes, depending on, because there's some overlap, and we will see how that goes. So these are like the main things for today. I hope you had a good week. I hope you keep having good weeks. I hope you read some good books. I hope you read some good books. If you want to support me, then I don't know, subscribe, like, go and subscribe to Cat the Fairy Librarian. There's a Patreon, there's PayPal if you feel like it. No pressures there. I'll see you very soon. But now I got to run to catch a train, to catch another train, to catch a concert. So yeah, see you then. Until then, cheers.